Right, that's a quote from Arthur C. Clarke, famous author, inventor, and what you'd call futurologist, which is different from forecaster. And the main difference is Arthur C. Clarke, futurology, describes the science of scenarios. What if, and these can be kind of huge leaps of imagination about what the future will hold. Not particularly based on current trends or shifts in current technology, but just massive leaps and great leaps of imagination to describe how the future could be. Whereas forecasting is based on current trends, developments in technology, politics, society, and so forth. There's a video of Arthur C. Clarke describing his predictions 50 years. He made it in 1964 for BBC's Horizon programme, and this is here.
I'm getting a bit of beatbox there.
Who was that? So Arthur C. Clarke, in 1964, talking about technology over the next 50 years.
I'm thinking of the incredible breakthrough which has been made possible by developments in communications, particularly the transistor and, above all, the communications satellite. These things will make possible a world in which we can be in instant contact with each other, wherever we may be, where we can contact our friends anywhere on Earth, even if we don't know their actual physical location. It will be possible in that age, perhaps only 50 years from now, for a man to conduct his business from Tahiti or Bali just as well as he could from London. In fact, if it proved worthwhile, almost any executive skill, any administrative skill, even any physical skill, could be made independent of distance. I am perfectly serious when I suggest that one day we may have brain surgeons in Edinburgh operating on patients in New Zealand.
So there we are. I think what he described just then with great degree of accuracy was the internet, which for somebody in 1964 is pretty amazing. Especially these days with cloud computing, crowdsourcing, there's even less of a need for traditional bricks and mortar buildings, especially as we're seeing in our industry, where agencies are running out of ways to make money because the old model is dead due to the proliferation of new technologies. And following what he said about a man in Edinburgh operating on somebody in New Zealand, this was the BBC from April of this year. I don't know if you can see it, but this year was the first time they used a robot arm remotely to operate. The reason they did this year was because to avoid radiation. They did it in another room, but there's absolutely no reason why this technology couldn't be rolled out to do it from one country to another, where a surgeon in Edinburgh is operating remotely on a patient in New Zealand, as Arthur C. Clarke predicted. He then goes on to say,
when that time comes, the whole world will have shrunk to a point, and the traditional role of the city as a meeting place for men will have ceased to make any sense. In fact, men will no longer commute, they will communicate. They won't have to travel for business anymore, they'll only travel for pleasure.
This is where I have a bit of a problem with futurology and where forecasting is more accurate, because futurology is inspirational rather than practical, and didn't take into account things like the reasons for immigration, poverty, employment, education, opportunities that cities hold, and so forth. And futurology tends to describe utopic scenarios that don't take into account current politics and cultural shifts. Over to Hilmi.
Right. So the brief was to actually look at how we look at trend watching. So they forecast a few things. So they said mass mingling will be very big in 2010. So we've seen location-based services like Twitter, Foursquare and all that using location services and how they kind of say, right, check into this place, check into that place. Instead, rather than saying, right, this is going to go big, what they say is they're going to come up with new add-ons, like adding value to what's already out there. So what we were saying about forecasters, what they do is they take what's existing, say what was in 2009. Foursquare was around in March 2009, I think. So building on that, what could happen? So then they could build for 2011, what we've got now, they'll build on that again and add value again and again and again. Now we've got impromptu meetups and we've got pop-ups. Whoever went to the Future of Advertising event, we had to sign in either to Blurb's office or to that event itself. So it's not a physical form, but then it's there for that particular moment, saying that we're there for this instead of we're here at this building for. It took off really well, and I think it's quite successful. Just an example of people coming up with apps that are adding more value to location-based services instead of it just being I'm here, I'm doing this here. I think that's called Whatster app, just recently launched. So this real-time reviews, where I think Richard was just saying about how BT is crap at whatever they do and all that. So there's this thing called BT Don't Care, and they kind of speak to consumers and all that. So you get this whole brand reputation not only by consumers but also by the staff themselves. So it's not up to only management, it's also low staff, and you get a growth in companies talking to consumers directly. So just recently there was a flower shop who would go on Twitter and find if you're unhappy or you had a bad day, they'll say, can we send you flowers to make you happy? So it's kind of that emotional connection between each other, and it's actually happening. And that's all we got. Thank you very much.
Questions?
Just the BT Don't Care thing, I think you didn't clarify that really. It's just that when we were having the trouble with BT, and I started tweeting them and basically berating them, they reply under their name BT Care. And what I found out, suddenly got tweets from, I got one tweet in particular that said, you think they're bad as a company giving you a service, you should try working for them. And that was from somebody called BT Don't Care. And that's their own staff chipping away at their own brand.
Also, sorry, just to add on, everyone who has an iPhone knows about Game Center, right? The thing that I think they failed to kind of predict this year was gaming and how everything's going to be gamified, and how you have Angry Birds now having TV commercials made up by fans, and they're going to have products and etc. Who would imagine games like on mobile phones and all that? So they've not predicted that for 2010, but it's happening.
I have a question for you both. So you opened with Arthur Clarke making predictions in the 60s about what he thought might be around in 2010, 2020, something like this. To what extent is the problem, when we look at futurologists making predictions in the long past, to what extent is there a black swan problem? Do you know about black swan?
No.
No. Who knows about black swan?
Is that like to say every swans are white, and you can't really say that because you're
getting really warm. Who else has got some stuff about black swan? Oh, it's going to be on your winter reading list with Tanner. Andrew, you got black swan? You want to say anything on black swan? No, okay. So black swan, the idea, and Oliver's getting really warm to it, is that we think that every swan on the planet must be white, mustn't it? Because we only see white swans. And then along comes a black swan, and it completely destroys that myth that swans are white because there's a black swan. And I guess we had similar things going on a few years ago. Everybody was saying that property prices are always going to go up. People in Ireland were busy building cities because the prices were going to go up and up. And the only thing that anybody could see was the prices going up and up and up. And BAM! Along comes this this bank mess where banks have been swapping debt with each other, and nobody predicted that. That wasn't on anybody's radar, and just destroyed the deck of cards overnight. Black swan is when something completely unpredictable, something that's not on anybody's radar, comes along and destroys the party, or changes the party at least. And I guess for me, the problem I have with futurologists, and remember I've spoken 1,000 times now about how important Toffler is to me, Alfred Toffler, is that Black Swans get in the way. So homework, it's going to be on your winter reading list, but get to know Nicholas Taleb and Black Swan. He's kind of, this has been his year, I would say. Would you say? Last year, maybe?
Yeah, last year.
Yeah.